Hey now, welcome back for part two of my post-game Ohio State Georgia review. Thank you. Moving on. Next topic, the big topic, the topic of conversation, the targeting call or non-call. That was blowing up my comments following the snap reaction was the targeting call or non-call. Like I said, I thought it was targeting. In my opinion, I think it was targeting. The Georgia folks, respectable and otherwise, the respectable ones kindly pointed out they didn't think it was targeting. The whatever you want to call the other folks, that was targeting. Stop being a wimp. Stop. It wasn't targeting. Grow a pair. That excuse me. Grow a pair. That was a good old slobber knocker. Grow a pair. But for the most part, they pointed out they did not feel it was targeting. I, on the other hand, thought it was targeting. At the end of the game, when I made the reaction, so when all the comments started rolling in, I said, let me go look. Let me go look at let me try and find the rule and see. Because you have people coming in. He led with his shoulder. He didn't lead with his helmet. He led with his shoulder. He did this. He did that. That ain't targeting. That ain't targeting. Look up the rule. So I looked up the rule. I looked up the rule. Article 4. Article 4. Let's read Article 4. Targeting, making forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player. So I looked it up. Just look at the rule. And I pulled this from the SEC site. The SEC site, their rule for targeting, and I assume it's the same rule across the board. I'm assuming it's the same rule across the board. May not get applied the same across the board depending on what crew's doing the officiating, but I believe it's the same rule across the board. And I do believe it's written to be somewhat objective. You just either go down the list and check it off. Did this happen? Yes or no? Yes or no? Very first thing you read there, was the player defenseless? Marvin Harris was defenseless. He looking up for the ball. And some folks tried to say he wasn't defenseless. Some folks tried to say he wasn't defenseless. I was like, you go out there, have someone lob you a ball, and you just stand there and wait for it. He is a defenseless player. He hit him with his shoulder. He didn't hit him with his helmet. Well, look at the rule. It ain't have to be. It doesn't. Helmet, shoulder, forearm, fist, forcible contact to the head or neck area. To me, after looking at it, and I'm gonna show the clip. But to me, all that stuff occurred. In my opinion, it occurred. When you look at the rule, it occurred. Lowering your head before attacking or initiating forcible contact with the crown and helmet. Okay, I didn't see that one. It wasn't with the crown, but it doesn't have to be the crown. It could be the shoulder. Look at the bullet point above. It could be the shoulder. To the head or neck area. He made contact to the head and neck area. He hit him in the ear hole. At the end of the day, Marvin Harrison got hit in the head, in the ear hole. And Ryan Day said, how do you get concussed if you don't get hit in the head? He didn't see the replay at the time he made the statement, but I watched it. He got hit in the head. He was concussed before he hit the ground. That's my opinion. I stick by it. I stick by it. I ain't changing it. You did. I never seen an argument won or lost on the internet. If you came in on one side of the argument, dang it, you're going to go out on the same side of that argument. Like you came in thinking it was not targeting, you're going to go out of that internet debate like that it wasn't targeting. Me, I'm going in as targeting, coming out, it's still targeting. I looked at it fast and real time, slow motion. The angles they provided, to me, is targeting. If that isn't targeting, I don't know. I thought the Michigan game, the end of that game, could have been targeting. That got overturned. And I guess I was reading the targeting in the SC Tulane game got overturned. So I don't know what targeting is, but just let's look at this play.
Rule off. It's not rule targeting. Your thoughts?
I agree with replay. I do not have targeting. He is defenseless. It was close to contact to the head neck area, but it was more to the shoulder. I did not see his head spin back.
Now, mind you, before they went to commercial break, Fowler even said, "Oh, there's the helmet, There's the helmet contact. All right. They go to commercial break. They come back. The ruling's already been made by the thing that it wasn't targeting. So they go to their expert. So what do you think of that? Rules expert. Oh yeah, you're right. That wasn't targeting. It was close, but it wasn't targeting. His head didn't snap back. All right, let's look at Article 4 again. Ain't nowhere in there it says his head has to snap back for it to be targeted. That ain't in the rule. That's not in the rule that his head has to snap back. His head ain't snapped back because his whole body contorted. He can. Oh man, I do it. I don't know. So you can imagine the debate going on amongst fans on the different platforms. You know, here's some of the commentary on that. You know, it's just you got the folks who are gonna believe it was targeting, and folks that don't believe it was targeting. You got the folks who don't believe it was targeting, talking about it's a grown man sport, yada yada yada. We get that. I like the good clean hit as much as the next person, but the rules are there for a reason, and dang it, if you check off all the boxes for the rule that says it's targeting, to me it's targeting. And a lot of folks thought it was targeting. You can see the back and forth that we were having, that's been going on for the last few days now. You know, but it is what it is, and they do. I think the rule is written to be objective, but you know, when man gets involved and stuff, everything's become subjective. I think it's applied differently from conference to conference. And like Joe, I watched some of what Joe Klatt had said. He said it needs to be revamped. I think you need to get away with these conference affiliations for officials. You need to make it a NCAA thing. I don't know. But I don't see how the refs on the field are constantly that wrong in these big games like that, where they're getting overturned at the rate they're getting overturned. Like I said, to me, it was targeting. With that said, you know, I want a clear definition so future fans don't gotta go through what we went through. Cause Ohio State fans are getting tired of the targeting call because it's bitten us in the butt so many times. Y'all know what I was. Trevor Lawrence, Sean Wade. To me, that hit on Harrison was a lot more egregious than the hit Sean Wade did on Lawrence. But you know, that's a quarterback, so I don't know. I don't know what targeting is, and me, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this for a sports fan, so you guys ain't got to go through that in future years. Let's get a clear definition that fits all across conferences. I don't know what we got to do, but we need to fix that because it's going to pop up again. It's going to keep popping up until they get something more concrete in play. Now, like I said, with that said, that ain't cost us the game. That did not cost us to lose the game. Now, it prevented us from winning. I'll stick by that. It prevented us from winning, but it didn't cost us the game. You feel me? Follow me? It prevented us from winning because had they made that call, Ohio State's first and goal, we may or may not score the touchdown. We still might have to settle for a field goal, but if anything, you running more time off the clock. You running more time off the clock. It's still a 14-point lead. It's still a 2-score game. And you see how the game played out. Georgia didn't take the lead until less than a minute to go in the game. And that was with Lathan Ransom falling down, getting juked, however you guys want to call it. That was with Lathan Ransom getting beat for the 75-yard bomb. That, less than 20 seconds? And boom, they right back in the game. Even with that They still didn't take the lead until less than a minute to go in the game. So if you make that call, that targeting call, Ohio State is in position to run more time off the clock, possibly get a touchdown. That's ball game. In my opinion, that's ball game. It didn't cost us the game, but it definitely prevented Ohio State from winning. It made it a 2-score game as opposed to a 3-score game. It gave Georgia hope. Because if it's a 3-score game, with the amount of time left, you could have dashed some hopes with that one. But, hope's a dangerous thing. It's dangerous and beautiful at the same time. You gave a team hope, especially a team as good as Georgia. You give them hope. They took advantage of the opportunity. They took advantage of it. They came back down from 14 before. In their minds, we can do it again. And damn it, they did it again. They did it again. So again, credit to Georgia. They took advantage of the opportunity that was presented to them, because the referees, not the referees on the field, the referees in the booth gave them a golden opportunity, and they took advantage of it. So there. That targeting call in and of itself did not cost Ohio State the game, but it definitely prevented Ohio State from winning, because it would have been really hard for Georgia to come back from a 3-score deficit had we ran more time off the clock and or we scored that touchdown. So again, credit to Georgia. Another thing that probably impacted the game was, of course, piggybacking on that hit, it knocked Harrison out the game. He did not play a good portion of that second half. Did not play at all in the fourth quarter. And Ryan Day said that impacted play calling. And I believe that 100%. That may have led to some of him doing that do stuff, because he didn't have Harrison available. So injuries. I ain't going to, and we're going to get there, but we're going to get to C.J. Stroud, because he did a whole lot, missing a whole lot of people. No Harrison. Cade Stover was out for pretty much the whole game. That's two important pieces. And missing Cade Stover is probably a bigger impact than people think, because that may have affected the running game some. Because he's your blocking tight end. He's big, physical. That could have affected the running game again. Why they may have done that loop-de-loo stuff. Ryan Day trying to get cute. No Harrison can't run as quick slants like he wants to do. No Cade Stover trying to help in blocking the running game. So who knows? Who knows if that went into that play call on 2nd and 5? Because I still don't like it. But think of what C.J. Stroud was dealing with in that fourth quarter. He was down his top 2 receivers, though Jackson's been out all year, but he was down Jackson, down Harrison, his 2 top receivers. He was down Trevion, down Mayan. I don't know what happened with Mayan. They never explained why he was never able to get back into the game. The injury creeped back up. I don't know, but he didn't play that second half. So now you're down your top 2 receivers, your top 2 running backs. Oh, by the way, you're down Cade Stover, and you're down G. Scott. G. Scott he's your second tight end. That's what damn near your whole skill position, folks. So basically, he was left with Abuka, Fleming, Xavier Johnson. As good as Xavier Johnson is and has been, he's not. None of those guys were missing. I love Xavier, but he's not Harrison. He's not Stover. He's not Trevion. The boy's a baller, but he ain't. He's not them. He's not them. Okay, and that's why. And then I said it may have impacted their play calling, but even that still, I don't think cost us the game. I told you what I think cost us the game. Ultimately, our defense. We scored 41 points. Even with all that missing, we scored 41 points. All that missing, we scored 41 points. And I don't think that caught in the injuries. People say, yeah, we was missing so-and-so too. Yeah, but CJ was missing a whole lot. Y'all wasn't missing what CJ was missing. Damn near all his skill position people were out. And you know what? we still almost won the game because of C.J. Stroud. Yeah, it's time to talk about some C.J. Stroud, because that boy, that man balled out. He played the game of his life. I said, because he made a comment going into that Michigan game, I'll die for this team. And I told y'all, following that post-game review of the Ohio State Michigan game, I said I didn't see him do that. He said he was, but I didn't see it. This game here, CJ played his ass off. He put that team on his back. He did what folks knew he could do. He had a damn near perfect game. He led the team. He carved up that defense. I said C.J. Stroud was the best quarterback in this playoffs. I think he proved it. He carved up the number one defense. He carved them up. 41. He did what no one thought they could do to the Georgia defense. And that's even falling to LSU. They still were discounting C.J. Stroud. Even after what LSU did to him, they say, oh, C.J. Stroud can't do that. I was like, y'all don't know. I said he's the best thrower of the football, best QB IQ in these playoffs, probably in college this year. Had he beaten Michigan, he would have won the Heisman. He balled out. He played the game of his life. And that was a lot of the accolades coming in from the Georgia fans. They did not know. They did not know that boy. They did not know he could play like that, because he lit him up. He lit him up with his arm and lit him up with his legs. I said C.J. Stroud needed 20 to 30 yards. He ended up with a net 34 yards, but we know he rushed for more than that. Net 34 because you had to take out the sack numbers, but he led them that fourth quarter. He tucked that. Did you see him tuck that? He tucked that ball and he took off. Wasn't no hesitation, no nothing. He took off and got us down to the 30-yard line. CJ put that team on his back. And yes, I still stand by that statement I made at the beginning of my snap reaction, that he deserved to win that game because he played his butt off. So again, he had the injuries. They may have impacted some of the play calling. Down the stretch, no Stover, no Henderson, why? It didn't matter. C.J. Stroud had us in position to win the game. He had us there. We were there. Back to some of the play calling down the stretch. It's just, we get down to the 30-yard line, and it seemed like we could have been a bit more as aggressive as Ryan Day was throughout the game. He seemed to dial it back some. So that was my only thing about Ryan Day and his play calling down the stretch. And hopefully he will learn from this, because I think a lot of the Georgia fans pointed out, Kirby had to go through this. He had to go through some bad experiences before he figured out what to do. So hopefully Ryan Day will figure out what to do in these type of big game situations, because that's the big complaint about Ryan Day now. He can't win the big game, even though he does have a win over Michigan, and he has a win in the CFP. But you're only good as your last win. He lost to Michigan, and now he lost again to Georgia, and some of it based on his play calling down the stretch. But all in all, he played a great game plan. So again, I think the defense, the totality, let us down. I think Ryan Day called an excellent game. You can call an excellent game, and I still have some play calling within that game plan can make you scratch your head some. I ain't gonna. It just does, but that ain't the reason why we lost. The defense has to get better. Jim Knowles is taking a lot of heat, but it's his first year. So we'll see. It's his first year. And we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how that plays out going forward. Get back over there. There we go. We'll see how that plays out moving forward. But all in all, it was a great game. CJ's best game ever. And he was out of a lot of players. And I'm gonna go off on a little tangent here because we had the Stover was out, and got a lot of players opt out. So when players opt out, I'm not mad at them because Stover ended up in the hospital, and you don't know what the result of that's going to be. Wish him well, but anytime a player wants to opt out, if the players in the locker room are cool with it, then us fans, us media, we need to just be quiet about it. It's what the fans, and not the fans, but what his teammates, his brothers in the locker room feel. So if these guys want to opt out because Stover's in the hospital now. If you ain't playing in the playoffs, you want to opt out of a bowl game, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all. So again, I just throw that out there. Moving on. Ryan Day, I think he redeemed himself with the play calling, even though some folks are not happy with some of the calls down the stretch. But in general, I'm happy with the game plan. I'm happy with the play calling. Could he call some stuff differently down the end? Yeah, he could have. And hopefully he learns from it. Like I said, if Marvin's in there, if Cade's in there, who knows? Who knows what plays he calls? But who knows how that goes? But I think he sort of redeemed himself following that Michigan game. I think him and CJ are coming out of that game better for it, despite the loss. I think they come out better for it. Again, 2nd and 5. I think it's their execution. Just execute. If we execute. If we can execute a fake punt, we might be playing in the championship game right now. Because it cost us against Michigan. We're going to snap it to the wrong person. And in this game, I read, even if we had gotten it off, even if Kirby Smart hadn't called the timeout, we had 12 men on the field anyway. So, I don't know. We got to learn. If we could execute a fake punt, we might actually be in the championship, y'all. But we can't execute a fake punt. Oh, man. We got to work on those fake punts for next year because that very man would have kept us out of the championship game. There's a fake punt these last back-to-back games. You think if anyone going to get the call right, it's going to be the center, but he snapped it to the wrong person. In the Michigan game, in this game, we got 12 men on the field. Even in Pee Wee football, you know who the field goal team is. You call field goal team, they know who's on it, but it is what it is. I thought Ryan Day we could have put Noah Ruggles, and I'm going to close out. We could have put Noah Ruggles in better position, and a 50-yard field goal is a long shot to begin with. It really is. And to put that type of pressure on a young man is saying an awful lot. And I knew the moment he missed, I knew what was coming because it's happened before. He got death threats. And this ain't nothing new at Ohio State. You can go all the way back. Was it 05? Ohio State, Texas, number 1, number 2. Ryan Hamby, the tight end, drops a sure would-be touchdown pass. Cost Ohio State the game. He got death threats in the mail. And like then, it was a lot more personal. Because it wasn't that sin. You had to do a little bit more to send that threat off. So, and again, it's just like what goes through someone's mind, even while you typing it up. Something doesn't click and say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But nope. Sin. And you don't think the guy feels bad enough as it is to be getting that from it. It's can't, like I said, all fan bases have these type of jerks and assholes that do this crap. Like the dude don't feel bad enough already. And then on top of it, an NFL organization is going to tweet out some dumb ass. About this is how you make a game-winning field goal. Atlanta Falcons media people or whatever gonna post some stupid stuff like that. Atlanta Falcons, y'all, team 4 and whatever their losing record is. Their NFL professional kicker who gets paid millions of dollars to make kicks. Oh, he kicked a 21-yard field goal to win a game, a meaningless game of 21 yards or whatever it was. A meaningless game for a team with a losing record that ain't going nowhere and ain't done crap all year long. They going to send out a tweet about this is how you make a game-winning field goal in this stadium or whatever it was. Of course, they got lambasted for it. They got taken to the woodshed, but just the pressure putting on these young athletes. I can see why a lot of them stop for mental health reasons. Because, like Harry Miller, anyone who wants to step away to get their mental health is let them do it. Because stuff like this, taking that type of abuse because of you missed a 50-yard field goal, that would 50-yard field goal, last kick of the game that could potentially send your team to a championship. Just imagine the type of pressure it is on him. Hell, 40-yard field goal, man. But 50? Ain't like that's a cake in the walk. Or a walk in the park or whatever. That's just, but again, for every 1% asshole, there's 90% stuff. So I'm glad people reached out and supported Noah Ruggles because dude's been money all year and that was an awful lot to ask of him. But it is what it's only. But moving on now. Again, the injuries and just wading back into that. You see what happened with the Buffalo game and the player collapse, and so hearts out to him, and that's why again when these players want to opt out and not play, I ain't mad at them. Anything can happen out there on the football field. So. And folks want them to play so their team can win in a bowl game. It's just there's more going on than our satisfaction of folks winning. It's fun to get on here and go back and forth in the debate about it. But these are people's lives still at the end of the day. And so that's what I gotta say about that though. Before I get out here, the only other good thing about honestly, ain't nothing good about it. Because leading into this, I thought it would have been cool to have 2 Big Ten teams in the finals. I thought it would be cool, and I hinted I might root for that team to beat TCU. But at the end of the day, I couldn't do it. The best I could do was say go Big Ten. I couldn't say their name directly. I couldn't say go in their name directly. Or like go Big Ten. That was the best I could do. I said I wouldn't be heartbroken if they lost, and I wasn't. I was like, oh well, they lost. Better luck next year. They lost. Speaking about pressure, I said Jim Harbaugh. Everyone talking about Ryan Day. I'm like, Jim Harbaugh got some pressure on him too. Ain't like he got a stellar record in bowl games. He got blown out last year, and weren't they coming into this semifinals as the biggest favorite to lose? I think that's 8 points, whatever the spread was. It was the biggest in the semifinal game, and they got upset. I ain't heartbroken. I'm talking about Ryan Day all you want. Jim Harbaugh got some pressure on him. If he beat that Michigan much longer, the NFL come calling out. We'll get into that, but Harbaugh got pressure on him. But But doing that thing, Michigan lost, so I ain't heartbroken over it. If anything, Ohio State is still the only team in the Big Ten to win a CFP game. So hey, like I said, I wouldn't. It's like I said, lead it to the game. It's nice to say you're the only team to have done something. The only team to have done something, and we're the only team that won the CFP game. So I'm gonna hang our hat on that. But anyway, I tried to keep it short, but there was a lot to cover. So I'm gonna shut it down. Hopefully you stayed with me through the whole thing. So if you're liking this, hit the like button. If you like Buckeye Talk in general, please subscribe. As I mentioned, I'm trying to build this thing up, trying to get it going. And next time out, we're going to talk about the 2020 season in general. Was it a success or not? Are we going to have to redefine what a successful season is? Moving forward with the expansion of the 12-team playoff, the definition for success may be redefined moving forward. Then there's an early, because we always like doing that. Early look at 2023 and what that team may look like. So again, until next time, thank you for viewing, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. Please come back. Help a brother grow this thing out. And until next time, OHIO, go Bucks.